Hey, welcome everybody. Yeah, the title of the video, Happiness from Wall Street, because it's definitely not happiness from anywhere else. For us, at least Person's Planet, looking at our indicators, you'll notice here that we got lots of positivity. These are all our positions in our newsletter and current portfolio. NetApp, Teva Pharmaceutical, Walgreen Boots Alliance. GE was a trade we made strong recommendations on due to the monthly high close doji. I'll get to you that in a second. Morgan Stanley, Patterson in medicals, and which I tweeted that one out. And again, Discover Financial. In the live trade room, we had a diagonal calendar, which if you've watched previous videos, you've seen, read the text, which I told people you can certainly go to do. We had a long-term leap. Today, we had Coles up 20%. So that's a trade room, not an official. That's a trade room trade. So we break it down with what's in the newsletter versus what's in what we cover in the live trade room. Live trade room also long TBT, the 17-19 Jan call spreads for cheap. And today we had a huge breakout, 4% in TBT. Again, that's the ETF on yield. So what didn't fare well, and I want to point out to you what happened to the meltdown in the equities at the end of the day. And I think you can contribute the meltdown in the S&Ps to one stock. It's called Amazon. Coincidentally, it started to break down right at 2 o'clock, and if you take a chart of the S&Ps, same story, and then right around 3:30, the selling pressure started to get a little crazier, and that was right there, an Amazon liquidation. Now, to me, I think Amazon's got all of the characteristics of some more downside. We're still above the monthly opening range, so that's very positive to me. I don't want to get into all my indicators and what they mean, but I will share with you my scan and what I want to focus in on going forward. So for that, let's take a top-down approach. So let's start from the top. I'm still a fan of GDXJ. We are long GDXJ from way down there, 41. Well, here, let's just bring it up for you guys, and you can see it for yourself, so I don't have to repeat this because we only got a second. Here's our current position in the advisory service, the newsletter. As you can see, the newsletter, we tell you what our current positions are. We're long Discover Financial. Now, this was a stock trade. We sold out, took the profits, and applied the cash from the stock and bought a NOV 20, 70, 75 bull call spread. We paid $1.20 for it. Well, obviously, taking a look at Discover Financial today, it is only up 12%, up $8 at $76. You may recall, I also tweeted that one out being at the doctor's office, having stitches taken out from my shoulder surgery, and I said, hey, look, we're already in this trade, but I tweeted that out, and you can go and visit the Twitter account and see that. Morgan Stanley, same story. I loved it long term, and yet short term, I had some questionable signals last week, so we took a profits on the high for the week last week in Morgan Stanley, but instead of ducking, tail, and running, we took some of the profits and applied it to our bull call spread, but for March 19th expiration, because I wanted a lot of time on that. They were fairly out of the money, plus it was a 10 wide, 55.65. Morgan Stanley today goes from, like, where were we the other day? Like $50 up to 56, so we had an 8% run up today. So we're doing wonderful. That's like dynamic. And I always like to take money from a stock and apply it to an option. Anyway, here's our position in GDX. That's what I wanted to get to. Average 41.46, and we have a collar on right now. So what we're probably intending to do is just to buy back the short side of the collar and move forward. And then just we'll take a look at that, the downside protection, which I don't want to get out of in a GDXJ, which is very volatile. I want a little more theta, a little price depreciation in GDXJ, and I still like the metals going forward, no doubt about it. Walgreens, bought the stock. This is probably the worst performing stock on our books this year, actually. And, we're up slightly on the trade, but we bought a put for protection. We're going to lose money on the put for protection, which is okay with me because when the market was down, and we already, this is the second time we've rolled out of that hedge. We're using a lot of options as hedging, as well as options for directional trades. Teva Pharmaceutical, we came really close to getting knocked out of that trade. It would have been a crime, and yet We didn't. So bottom line, we're in Teva. Teva today is only up 6% at 9, settled up at $9.67. What does a full position mean? A lot of times what we do is we scale into trades and we don't get filled on the half. And these are all full positions. We're long from Patterson, 26.22. Patterson today, 29.26. So up 12%. Big move there. Nice trade. NetApp, long from 44.48. It's at 49.65. Up 5.6% today alone. So just goes to show in the newsletter this week, I said, listen, we still want to focus on a few things. I don't have any more new trades for anyone coming into this week. I write this newsletter on a weekend before knowing that we're going to open up, 1,500 points higher in the Dow. But anyway, it's interesting to note that healthcare, consumer discretionary, semis was last week's best movers, and it still follows into this week, again with regional banks. So after the election, it just seems that November's seasonalities really came into play. I wasn't a big fan of, I was thinking the market would see some kind of a pullback, but we had, as this sentence should tell it all, we have an extremely bullish outlook for, so expect higher prices early next week. That was my 2 cents of the market. And I still think that at this point, we've got markets like in the Qs, and with the COVID-19 and FANG stocks and stay-at-home Zoom, for example, the sector I want to avoid was NASDAQ. I still feel that technology we need to be in. I mean, let's face it, technology is not going anywhere. So, again, and I think I even said that. And again, the work President Trump enacted with Operation Warp Speed. Now, I want you to know this newsletter was sent out to everyone well before yesterday afternoon on Sunday. So everyone gets this on Sunday. So it's ironic that here we have Monday morning, Pfizer announces they've got success in their vaccine. So anyway, I still believe that healthcare and medical devices will present long-lasting investing opportunities, and there's just no way in hell technology is becoming obsolete. So we want to look for that. I don't know about the airline space right now, and I want everyone, I'll just let you read the newsletter. You can put me on pause, read it yourself. I just don't understand what and where we go under if it is official, which it's not, but if it is official of a Biden Kamala Harris leadership, I just don't know what their policies are going forward. I've seen their website, I'm confused between, as most Americans should be, between what they said prior to the debate and what Biden stands for after his debate. So, I mean, it really is a debate of how moderate of a Democrat and policies he will enact and how left his policies will not enact. I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows. And what is his policy on foreign affairs? We don't know. What will he do with China? Will he get rid of the tariffs? Nobody knows. So I just want you to understand that nobody really knows, but I do know that as Americans, if we have something that says COVID's over and people feel comfortable with the vaccine, and the vaccine is available in the next, say, 90 to 120 days for a majority of them, or beginning for Americans, that's a very positive thing. I don't want to get into details about he said, she said, and again, the whole hypocrisy of it's okay to celebrate in the streets, but then shut down a store owner in Brooklyn. It just doesn't make any sense. Punish the people that are paying your taxes by sales tax. Don't punish the people out, celebrating or protesting by throngs in the streets. So again, this is probably not something that you're going to like. Some of you may agree with it, but I think if we're going to be together in this, we need to be together in this. And there is no togetherness right now. So again, on points of views, that is, it's okay to celebrate, but it's okay to shut stores down and fine them. I know that was more political, but again, it just shows that even the Democrat Party is showing polarization and conflicts within what they say and what they do. So if that's the case, I still don't understand where to put money directly in a lot of businesses right now. And so with that, it means there's still uncertainty, and that you should be aware of. So bottom line is, I like Walgreens. I think longer term it's a great stock. As far as anything else, I think you got to be short term in nature. We have our algos. This is one we call the razor focus. It was long, got stopped out today on the long only model, the long and short model. This is a phenomenal model. This is the one we generally use. I don't sell this model out. It was created for a class for students, and it just did an amazing job. It only got out on that rally after the election because it max barred out, and it got right back in about where it was. And I mean, you can't ask for any. These are, if it's blue, it's a winner. If it's red, it's a loser. Performance on this particular model, look at the returns. This is your daily returns. Here's your life of history since 1 of January of 2015. It's a pretty decent equity curve, so you can see where we rely on this heavily as an indicator as far as trading. As far as the day trade model, this is one that's a beautiful model here. This is the one that you guys saw on the election night. We opened our live trading room. We ran this model live 24 hours for the election. And, if you took advantage of those signals, you were a happy camper, as we did. Currently, this trades all hours. It'll hold positions overnight, which is risky. I get it. But it only trades 2 contracts. Bottom line is, even going into tonight, it did capture a short. It's got these orange little yellow bars. Those are the trailing stop function. It's scaled out of 1. So if it's short 2, it gets out of 1, it's short 1 still. So we're still short heading into the Globex time period. And, as always with any trade, you can always cut a trade and then turn off the system. But anyway, this is the one that we're going to be using in the room. The indicator here, what is the difference between blue and red? This signifies that the short-term momentum is in a PPS buy, and the longer-term or higher time frames in a buy. This is something we call the TSI indicator. It's a twin dual time frame identifying if a product is in a multiple time frame or in sync with a multiple time frame sell or buy signal. If it's in both time frames, high and low are in a sell mode, the candles turn red. If it's in a conflict, it's white. So that's what you see on your screen. Thanks for listening. Sorry to keep so much of your time. Where are we going with the markets from here? I say end of year, we still have a huge rotation higher out of the market. And with the bonds selling off, that's a very positive thing. There's still a lot of uncertainty out there, so you want to make sure that you're not buying high-risk assets right now because, again, I hope you understood what I said about the Biden administration. We don't even know if the guy's won yet, number one. Certified with election votes, number one. Number two, most importantly, we still don't have exactly what his policies are, who his cabinet members are, who he would even choose for his picks in the Supreme Court. That was never announced. The funny thing is, they just, anyone other than Trump, let's like him and vote him in. Pretty crazy that no one took the time to look at his policies and what he stands for. And again, you can argue and say, oh, yes, he does. But yet he's changed his stance. So, no, we don't. Thanks for listening. And I hope I didn't irritate anyone that's a complete Biden supporter. I'm not any supporter of anyone unless I hear their policies and their directive. I'm a trader, and I'm a capitalist, and that's my first directive. How do I put money to work in a space where I don't know the candidate of where they're going to go, or even if that candidate's won? Food for thought for you. Thanks for listening.